So for a lot of entrepreneurs to make that leap from 0 to 1, you often give the piece of advice to try to find a need that nobody else knows exists and try to fulfill that need. So what is an example of one such need that isn't currently being addressed, but that you would like to see a startup try to tackle?
Well, it's always, it's always if I knew it, I would already be doing it, or something like that. And it's never quite easy to give it in a sort of a soundbite form. I mean, there certainly are all sorts of areas that I think are underexplored where we're not doing enough. But it's hard to say. It's not really on the for-profit side, but on the nonprofit side, I'm convinced that one of the areas that's very underexplored is things related to aging and mortality. I think most of us deal with mortality psychologically through a combination of acceptance and denial. So it's acceptance is we're all going to die. Denial is we're not going to die anytime soon. And sort of when you combine extreme optimism and extreme pessimism, they sort of weirdly converge, because extreme optimism always tells you that there's no need to do anything, and extreme pessimism tells you there's no point in doing anything. And so when you combine extreme optimism and extreme pessimism, you end up doing nothing. And I'd like us to, instead of being this acceptance denial mode, to be maybe spending a little bit more time fighting it. And I think, I do think almost every disease that exists is linked to aging in one way or another. You have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting cancer in your 30th year, in the next year of your life. You have a 1 in 10 chance at age 80 in getting cancer in your next year. And what's true of cancer is true of many other things. And there's an absolutely minuscule amount of money is being spent on aging itself as a phenomenon. And so I suspect that's an area that could be studied. It would be very valuable to study. And then there's sort of I always think it's like an area that's substantively promising, and then also where there may be some sort of strange psychological blind spot we have where we are not exploring as much as we can. And so I think it's always this combination of two things. When you answer questions like what's true that nobody agrees with you on, or what great companies is nobody building, you always break it down to two components. What is a good company or a good area of research to go into? And then why do other people have a blind spot about that? And trying to get answers to both is always quite valuable.